Well, hello, and welcome to the Old Guy in the Club podcast. I'm the Old Guy in the Club. That is my good friend, Uncle Rob Zilla.
Hi.
Hi. So, yeah, it's time to do a show, huh?
You know, as we do most Wednesdays, I used to say every Wednesday, but lately we have not been as consistent as we'd like to be because, you know, as the world is reopening, life starts to happen again. And, you know, we kind of started this as a way just to kind of stay connected during the whole COVID thing. And it turned into a thing. And now real life is back. So we're trying to find ways to keep this consistent. But, yeah, we're doing it. And we're here, which is great. 2 in a row.
Yeah, it's a streak.
2 in a row.
So yeah, I'm just doing my back office stuff that I have to do when we start this
No
shindig.
worries.
And I'm
welcome.
done. That was
I was going to
it.
say, so just welcome to the Old Guy in the Club podcast. My name is Rob Zilla, along with Justin Zotz. He is the old guy. This is episode 51. 51. Over like 55 weeks, but this is episode 51. We have a live chat room if you're viewing us on Twitch, where your questions, comments, concerns, and snide remarks are most welcome. We appreciate them. Jenna2882, our mod is Jenna is asking, are you guys live? Is this real? The answers to both your questions are yes. We are live, and this is real. And we apologize for all of the above.
Yeah, and I think Neil quit. What do you think?
I think Neil ghosted us. You know, in typical millennial dating, we didn't get a Dear Justin letter, a Dear Zilla letter. We got none of the above. It's just
not even a John Deere letter.
No, a John Deere letter. That's delivered on
on a tractor.
Delivered on a green tractor. We got none of the above. I mean, for all we know, Neil could have been kidnapped by aliens.
No, I talked to him earlier. I mean, we were talking about work stuff. And then when it came to, the show, he's just...
Maybe it's me. Maybe it's me.
It's not me. It's you.
All right. But, Jenna and Jeno, my sister Hannah girl, is also in the chat room. Hi, Jen. Welcome back.
Hello, Jennifer. Welcome to the show.
Listen, if we decide we want to continue doing this, I say we 86 Neil and sub in Jen. Or we should just have a rotating cast of our female regulars, the ladies that join us on the weekly, and just bring them in, rotate them in, and let them be a part of the show. Because you know what, honestly, they're a lot better at this than we are.
Speak for yourself, Zilla. I'm just playing.
Right.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, well, let's say this right off the bat here because I got to get this out in the open. This is not going to be a long show. Just telling you right now, because
thank God
the Suns are just starting, and not that I'm really a Suns fan per se, but I do live in the Phoenix area.
Yeah.
So, I figure I would like to watch some of that game, at least the second half. So we are not going to be here long. Just want to say hello to a buddy of mine in the chat, DJ Mike Torres. I went to high school with Mike Zilla. I've known him for
29 years.
Years. Oh, more than that.
I mean, it's funny that you bring up high school because it's actually a topic I wanted to bring up to you and our.
You have a topic
here. I do have a topic. I do. I mean, I try
because I got nothing.
I really do try.
I got nothing.
Well, I think it's it's actually telling that you have a high school friend in there because I got the Facebook alert just the other day that I don't have a list, Claudia. I have a topic, a singular topic, and I'm hoping that you could chime in and help me sort this out. I got a Facebook invite to my 30-year high school reunion, which is happening on August 7th here in San Diego. And I'm conflicted. I don't know if I want to go. I don't even know if, I don't know if I should go. I don't know if I want to go. It's just, I don't know how I just kind of feel some type of way about it. And I figured I would, leave it to the masses. You always have good insight. Our chat room is smarter than all of us. So, I mean, everyone's just saying, just go. But I don't know.
My initial thought,
so can I ask a question?
Sure. It's your show.
Our show. Have you been to either your 10 or 20? Because you and I aren't that far off. We're just a couple months apart. Have you been to your 10 or your 20?
I went to one, and I don't know if it was 5 or 10. I'm guessing it was 10.
Okay.
There wouldn't be a 5-year, right?
Usually, I mean, sometimes there is. It just depends on the school. Sure.
Well, let's assume it was my 10, which I don't know. Probably it was. I don't think I would go again. And like the people that I was friends with in high school, I'm still friends with them. So like, I see them, I talk to them all the time. Like we're still very, very close. Like I live 30 minutes from one of my high school best friends. Like we play golf together. Like we hang out. I talk to my other friends all the time.
At your bougie country club.
Well, his country club is way bougier than mine. If you take what I paid to get into mine, you add a 0 on, and that's what he paid to get into. Or not him. He's been there a long time. But now, yeah, it's pretty bougie, but it's really nice.
I want to read some of the comments in the chat room if I can. Jenna saying, "Wow, your high school reunion timing is close to mine." Claudia saying it may be fun, and then regret not going. And she also went to all of hers. Jen, my sister, saying, I don't even know who I went to high school with. Jenna says, I went to my 10-year, and the last time I went to my 10-year, I got engaged. Let's not do that again. That's a very interesting thing. Has anybody had gone to a reunion, I mean, outside of Jenna, and rekindled a romance? Jilly Bean is saying, I organize my high school reunions. I wish more people would just go, have a good time, and reminisce. I'm actually adult friends now with people I re-met at the reunion. I'm actually closer to them than I am to my high school friends. Claudia is saying, I went to my 10th, all 80s reunion for my 20th and then my 30th. All About Misha saying, don't go. I didn't go, and mine was last week. I'm so conflicted. And I'll tell you guys what. So traditionally, high schools are, you go to high school, let's say, within your neighborhood. So I went to a private Catholic high school here in San Diego. And, so everybody was a kind of a commuter student. I didn't really grow up in the neighborhood with a whole lot of people that I went to high school with. And even those that I didn't really have a lot of the same interests. And granted, later on in life, I've actually stayed close to a couple of people from high school, but we're close absent of a reunion, right? Like we're cool regardless. Don't need a reunion for that. Jenna saying, go Zilla, you might get engaged. Let us know what happens. I don't know. I went to my 10. So let me tell you this. So I went to my 10. So my 10 was in 2001. And I was really on my first upward trajectory of my first big radio job. I was living the good life, I showed up with a stack full of Backstreet Boys tickets. Like it was just to hook people up. It was fun. At the 20, Justin, you'll get a kick out of this. So this is a decade ago. And things are wrapping up at the reunion. And one of the guys, who was never really cool to me in the first place, not that I care, was like, yo, I got a room at the Hard Rock. We should go out and party there. And looks directly at me and says, they've got a pretty strict door, but I'll do my best to get you in.
Come on.
Mind you, at that time, I'm doing what, I mean, you're an owner of the bars and nightclubs there. You're one of my best friends. I'm also doing work for the property, on the side. And this guy has no idea, like doesn't even care to know, me or what I've done or how I've grown, whatever, right? And straight up says, they've got a pretty tough door. I'll do my best to get you in. So,
Okay. I'm going to just cut you off and say you're too nice of a guy, because what you should have done was reached out to me and told me this story, and I would have made that guy feel like a piece of shit. And that is not my MO in life. I am not like that. But for something like that, I would have made an exception.
Oh, I think, let me just fast forward. So we all ended up at the Hard Rock, and I think I either talked to you or to Andy, possibly Joe, but it was probably you or Andy. Might have been Eric the Board, and sent a bottle over there.
Really?
Yeah. Like,
that's amazing.
I got it covered. Thank you. There are some questions in here. Jilly Bean saying he was trying to flex, you think? And I mean, and who doesn't, right? And I guess this is my point. At what point do we as adults, I graduated in 1991, my 30-year reunion is happening here in 2021. At what point do we as grown-ass individuals stop trying to flex? And when do we actually start like celebrating one another, and not our accomplishments in terms of whatever it is that we, whatever fake metric we want to conjure up, but in, are you a good person? Does your family love you? Do you love your family? The metrics that actually matter in life. God, I can never say any shit without my sister chiming in and giving me shit. How do you kick my ex out but let this chump in and give him a bottle? That's a totally different story for a different day, Jen. Thank you so much for bringing that up. She never lets me forget a damn thing. Also, everybody, since we won't, between now and Saturday, Jen is having her 22nd birthday on Saturday. So everybody wish Jen a very happy birthday. It's happening this Saturday. So there. All right.
Well, happy birthday, Jen. Early birthday.
Yeah. So I guess that's where I'm at with it. I just wanted to vent a little and get some perspective. You always have good perspective. I don't know if I'm going to go. And it's also $65 for what?
Oh, stop. 65. Stop it. That has nothing to do with it.
For past hors d'oeuvres and people.
I would pay $65 for pigs in a blanket. I'm just telling you right now.
You can get them like in big bulky packs at Trader Joe's. They have the ones that are made with puff pastry. They're phenomenal. Ooh. I'm just saying it's a Parmesan puff pastry puffed in a blanket. So anyhow, I'm conflicted about this whole thing. I don't know.
Normally I would just say suck it up and go. I don't see any reason to go. Like the one I went to, we went, and it was me and my group of friends. We all went, and it was other people, and I remembered everyone, and we hung out in I don't even know if it was like our cafeteria. I can't even remember. And then we all just went to a bar and hung out after, right? Which we can do anyway. Why do we have to go to this place and hang out with a bunch of people that at this point, 30 years later, I don't know who they are? Right. I mean, I have Facebook friends, and I'm like, I don't know where I know this person from. And then it's like, oh, I went to high school with them.
Same. In all seriousness, I mean, that's another big thing, right? Like, if I'm the same person 30 years removed, that I was in high school, somebody just pull the plug, shoot me, throw me off a bridge. I think I've done 3 decades of growing, some for better. I've made some mistakes along the way. I've had some life experiences that have, helped change and mold the person that I think I am today and the person that I'd like to become tomorrow. But there are, and guys, chime into the chat room. Have you encountered those people that are still holding on to graduation year as if they've been stuck in a time warp, and or at least trying to go back on that flex? What's that movie, Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion? The one with Lisa Kudrow and who else is in that? Oh my God, is it Mira Sorvino?
That sounds right.
Yeah. I don't know. GJ Showtime says underrated movie. I think there's something to be said for the high school reunion flex, and I don't know. I don't want to be a part of it. All right. So be the person that finally confronts their high school bully. Yeah.
I don't know.
They probably,
I don't know.
If I do go, there will be a recap show. Maybe we need Neil Jackson here, and I'll take him as my +1, and we could do an IRL live stream from my high school reunion, and then we could just mock everybody simultaneously. That would be fun.
I like that. That we could do. Do we have a budget for this? I'll fly him out.
Jeez. Take it off my tab.
Tab? You have a tab?
I don't know. I have no idea. I just make shit up as I go.
I was trying to rack my brain before coming on this show for current events. I honestly have no idea what's going on in the real world. I've been so busy. I don't know. I don't watch the news. I haven't scrolled Facebook or anything really to see what's going on in the world. I don't even know what's happening. So luckily, I can't stay on long on this show today anyway. So it's not like we have to fill a lot of time. Oh, just for anybody that joined us late, the Suns game is on, so we are not going to do this show for very long. Just for the record.
We do have some. Here is what's happening. People are actually commenting about the topic, the previous topic. So All About Mish said that the only people that can flex at my reunion is POD, Wov and Sonny, and they weren't there. So Mish, I'm guessing then you grew up here in San Diego. Jilly Bean is saying, at my 20 years, 6 years ago, it was fun to go. There were people that I've known since I was 5. Crazy to see them. People had fun. But our 20 year was at a bar, then a nightclub, and then just dancing and having a good time seeing each other. Oh, by the way, it is Neil's birthday tomorrow. Are we going to do anything fun or embarrassing for Neil's birthday? Yeah, we're going to do a podcast that he's not going to show up to. That's what we're going to do. Which, here begs an interesting question. Did you go to high school with anybody famous?
Me?
Or anybody in the chat room? I mean, Mish said that she went to high school that are people that are famous. Anybody that's in the chat room, did you go? Or on the fringe of famous?
To the chat, or you're talking to me?
All of the above.
I mean, I'm on. I went to my high school, so does that answer that?
You are a reality television show star. That goes without saying. That
is correct. Hold on. Sorry, my son, who's been in New York for a month, just texted me to say goodnight. Hey, Mike, do we go to high school with anybody famous? I don't know. I know like famous people went to our high school. I just don't remember if any of them were there when we were. I know there were some like athletes and stuff like that, famous athletes.
Yeah.
But like Scott Baio went to our high school.
I'm so sorry.
I forget the actor. There was an actor. He was older than us. He was on The Practice. Michael Badalucco. I think he went to our high school.
Joey Buttafuoco?
No. Chris Mullen, Hall of Fame basketball player, went to our high school.
All right.
I don't really know. I can't remember. But I do know, and I will tell you that I went to an all-boys high school. So I don't know if that explains anything.
No, but I mean, it's very interesting. That's a very interesting dynamic. It's a very interesting dynamic. I don't know if I could do that.
Really?
Wait. Besides POD, DJ Rage is a year older. Are we talking about Rage from here in San Diego, Mish? Because I used to work with Rage at C90 many moons ago. Does an Olympic gold medalist in archery count? I think an Olympic gold medalist in basket weaving would count. I mean, you're an Olympic gold medalist. Of course that counts. Both within like my time frame and before. So Phil Mickelson went to my high school, graduated a few years.
That's pretty awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. So Lefty went. Scott Peterson, who murdered his wife Lacey Peterson, Graduated a year before. Graduated in 90. I graduated in 91. Cameron Crowe, who wrote Almost Famous and Fast Times at Ridgemont High, is an alumni of my high school. And I actually went to high school with Susan Holmes McKagan, who on her own, former fashion model, currently married to Guns N' Roses bassist Duff McKagan.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's what I got. And that's not just off the top of my head.
I got a couple. I just Googled this. There's a couple good ones on my list. Well, Rich Aurelio was a couple years older than us. He played baseball for the San Francisco Giants for I think his whole career. Michael Badalucco, who I mentioned earlier, Scott Baio, Jason Calacanis. You know who that is?
Who that is?
He's a internet guy.
Okay.
But here's one that's real. Well, first of all, before I get to the best one, maybe not the best, but someone you actually love, Zilla. But I got to give a shout out to mine and Mike's good friend, Mike Longobardi, who is an assistant coach in the NBA, a two-time NBA champion.
Whoa, hell.
Two. One with the Cavaliers when LeBron won a championship. He was an assistant. And then he was with Doc Rivers before that in Boston. But anyway, who is a favorite comedian of yours that I don't understand why?
I don't know. I like a lot of comics. I just, people make me laugh for different reasons.
Pete Davidson went to my high school.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Pete Davidson's hysterical to me. I mean, I think he's funny on his skits on Saturday Night Live because he's just so reflective of, an entire generation. If you're just joining us here on the Old Guy in the Club podcast, Rob Zilla here with Justin Zotz, the old guy. And I'm conflicted, friends. I'm trying to figure out whether or not I want to go to my 30th high school reunion, which is happening on August 7th. We've had some great commentary. Justin just kind of rattled off some of the folks that he went to high school with or that attended his high school as well. And someone was asking all about Meech, Francis Parker or Bishops. I had the choice to go to either of those. And I took my talents to University of San Diego High School. That's where I ended up going. All right. So in my school, some famous alumni, former NFL football referee Mike Carey. I know. Phil Mickelson, Scott Peterson.
Dude, I could have listed 1,000 people if we're going to talk about people like that. I went for the highlights.
Mark Pryor, MLB. I think he was a pitcher.
Yep, he sure was.
Luke Walton went to my high school, coached the Lakers.
He did.
Barry Zito. That's and then there's a long list. That's the condensed list.
Zilla, have you ever heard of Tito Nieves?
Yeah, why do I feel like I've heard that name?
He's a Latin music star, is what Wikipedia says.
Okay.
Apparently, he went to our high school too.
Wow. He's 63 years old. He would be the oldest guy in the
Who is?
Tito
Nieves? Really?
Tito Nieves.
That's amazing. I thought he was
He's
like some new young. I thought he was some new kid coming up with like Bad Bunny and
No more Bad Bunny requests. Hey, Jenna, do you have a poll? Are you able to throw up a poll for me or no? I'm gonna let it decide.
What do we just?
Whether or not I should go.
Yeah. I got you.
All right. Well, anyways, I think we've I think we have beaten up this topic to death. But I think the last thing we'll do, and we'll just revisit when Jenna gets a chance to throw that poll up. We'll revisit the results momentarily. But what else you got, JC?
Oh God, thanks for throwing me on the spot. I got nothing today. Absolutely nothing. I have no list.
This is great. That's amazing. Well, all right. Something else that we could talk about. A whole bunch of Emmy. Listen, the quarantine gave us a whole bunch of reasons to sit at home and watch TV. And there were some Emmy nominations. some that were expected, some that were rather surprising. I'm going to ask you some of these shows. I'm going to pull up some of these shows, and then you tell me if you've seen them, or if anybody's seen them, and what your thoughts are. Cool?
Okay.
Cool. All right. Let's see. I'm going to go for. So first of all, every year it always seems to be the same nominees for Outstanding Reality / Competition Series: The Amazing Race, RuPaul's Drag Race, Top Chef, The Voice, and Nailed It. I've heard of every single one of these shows except for Nailed It. Have you heard of that?
I have not.
Yeah, me either. All right, Outstanding Comedy Series: Blackish, Cobra Kai, Emily in Paris, Hacks, The Kaminsky Method, The Flight Attendant, Pen 15, which I believe is stylized to say penis, and Ted Lasso.
Okay. I have seen 0 of those shows except Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso is incredible.
Okay. First and foremost, Ted Lasso might be the best darn thing to ever. I can't get enough of it. Spoiler alert. So being a member of the press, there's an actual secret Apple website for members of the press where you can see things before they're released. I'm already 6 episodes into season 2 of Ted Lasso.
No, you're not.
And I will not spoil a darn thing other than if you love season 1, you're getting a lot more of the same. It's just that good.
I got something I want to talk about.
Okay.
You know how much I like the show Dave.
Yeah.
Season 1. So great. I mean, I think he should have won every award. I think the show should have won awards. Incredible show.
Well, for those who aren't familiar with the show, Dave, why don't you do a little recap as to what it is and what it's about?
So Dave is kind of it's not, well, I guess it's kind of autobiographical. Is that, no, or
semi-autobiographical?
Semi-autobiographical, if that's an actual word.
It is. We just made it.
Okay. So it's about, it's Little Dicky, and it's basically the story of him becoming a famous rapper. So good. And he is incredible in it. The cast is great. Everything's great about it. Season 2 shows up. It is the worst piece of dog shit in the history of television. It reminds me of Atlanta. I don't know if you watched Atlanta. Atlanta season 1 I thought was amazing. Season 2 happens, the worst. And I was so mad that they did the same thing to Dave. So mad. I was.
And isn't it on the same network as Atlanta? Isn't it both on FX?
I believe so. Yeah.
I think both Atlanta and Dave are on FX. What's funny is that you actually turned me on to Dave at the beginning of the pandemic last year. By the way, the results are in the results are in, and it's a tie. I'll let you know. I'll let you guys know what I decide. 50-50 right down the middle. So you got me turned on to Dave, and I started watching. I'm like, this is absolutely brilliant. It's satirical. It pokes fun at the music industry. It pokes fun at Hollywood life. Season 2, just this last episode, is the first one that somewhat resembles anything from season 1. The first 3-4 episodes, I'm so lost. And I didn't even bring it up to you because I was like, Justin's going to think that, I didn't want to sound like I'm not hip, and I don't get it. So I just kind of let it go. Is there something that I'm not supposed to be understanding, or I'm supposed to be understanding that I'm not? No.
No.
It's a flaming pile of dog shit.
Horrible. So you can go back to yours. Yeah.
That's it. I mean, I guess what I was trying to say though is, in talking about outstanding drama series rather, The Boys is a streaming show on Amazon. I believe Bridgerton was on Netflix. The Crown was on Netflix. Handmaid's Tale is on Hulu. Lovecraft Country, I believe, was on HBO. The Mandalorian was on Disney Plus, and Pose I hadn't heard of. But I guess the point I was making is regular TV networks might need to rethink the products that they are putting out on television, because these streaming services are absolutely crushing it.
I mean, who in their right mind would prefer, look, if it's the only option, it's the only option, but who would prefer to have to watch a show one episode a week?
Yeah.
Or at a certain
least,
time?
Yeah.
It's stupid.
I mean, I'm watching, like, you know, like I said, like, here's an example. Like, I'm watching Loki, one of the shows, one of the Marvel shows on
Me and Timmy are about to
Disney
start
Plus. Perfect. And, you know, it's a 6-episode run, and like you could wait the 6 weeks and binge all 6 episodes, or, you know, a new episode drops every Wednesday, and it's great. Like, you know, I can watch it at any time I want on that Wednesday, and I know that on Wednesdays I can do it. But
well, if you had the option to watch it all right now, would you?
You know, it's funny that you mentioned that. Me personally, I'm kind of glad that I can't, and I'll explain why. I don't really have. By the way, Justin, on the crawl down under there, I have new handles. They're all Zilla on air. Sorry.
See, and the funny thing is, I haven't updated that for over a year, and I updated it today.
To clip Neil, because
I took Neil out.
Yeah,
he's out.
That guy. So I don't have much of a dimmer. I'm an all or nothing kind of guy. So if I find something I like, I will just sit there and just watch and binge the living shit out of it, oftentimes to my own detriment. So sometimes there's something to be said for having a forced pause.
All right.
For me.
You say so.
But Jilly says she prefers binge watching. Jenna's all about the binge. I don't know. How about you? What is your?
I like the binge.
How far in a binge do you normally go?
Like when Ozark comes out?
Yeah, like, is it 2-3 episodes? Like you'll allocate 2-3 hours, or is it a
day?
You know, is it a half day? Oh wow.
At least. Like when Ozark came out, I think I watched it in 3 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jenna's saying, I started Gossip Girl's new season thinking all the episodes were available. I was pissed. Only one episode when I got to the end, and I have to wait another one God, I can't read today. And I have to wait for another episode the next week. Jenna also says, I binge because I forget what happens week after week. My sister Hannah Girl saying, I binge. Oh my God, Hot to Handle is amazeballs. I'll finish the whole series. Speaking of binging, I may have to binge the entire thing I might have to binge all 7 seasons of The Sopranos, because here's something that came out last week since we last spoke. The trailer to The Many Saints of Newark. It has been a very long time since I've seen a trailer for a feature film that makes me want to risk catching COVID in a global like, honestly, if that movie came out during COVID and it was in theaters only, I might have had to triple mask and risk getting the vid to see that.
Are you watching this chat that I'm having with Neil on the side here?
No. My private chat isn't lighting up.
Oh no, it's not private chat. It's a text conversation. We're not going to share it with the chat, but we're just breaking his balls a little bit, which is fine.
I'm just seeing it now. So you saw that trailer. What are your thoughts?
I didn't see the trailer. I saw an article. That's what I'm saying. I don't know anything going on in the world.
Well, I'm going to tell you, Justin, that this might be the greatest 3 minutes of your 2021 thus far. The premise of this movie, The Many Saints of Newark, so Tony Soprano, growing up, he idolized his uncle, Dici Moltisanti, and Moltisanti, translated from Italian, means many saints. And so these are the many
I did not know
saints.
that. Now, okay, I get it. Yep, I never thought about it. Yes,
So that's where it comes from. So the Many Saints of Newark, a Sopranos story, is the story of a young Tony Soprano growing up in the late 1960s in the, crux of the race riots there in Newark. What makes this thing even more interesting than, the story in and of itself, I'm not going to pass up on a Soprano story. But the title character, young Tony Soprano, is being played by Michael Gandolfini, James Gandolfini's kid, who never watched an episode of The Sopranos prior to being cast in this film, or at least going through the process of being cast for this film. And at least within the context of the trailer, channels his dad in a way that is so freaking eerie. It's
wow.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't want to oversell it. I sometimes get in the habit of the oversell. I don't want to do that. But Justin,
I'm excited.
You need after we wrap up this, I need you to do me a solid and watch that trailer and text me.
I will.
Please.
I do not have to binge watch Sopranos. I've watched it 3 or 4 times in full. It's the second best television show of all time.
Right behind The West Wing.
Correct.
Yeah. I'm with you. Followed by Mad Men.
And then I'm not sure whether I go Wire. Then what?
I said
what?
I said that's where we divert, because I say Mad Men might be is my number 3.
For me, it's The Wire, I think.
They're all good shows. And I guess that's my point, right? Is like, here are all these shows that we're talking about. And broadcast television started off at a certain point. And everything you watched, like growing up on a Thursday night, must-see TV on NBC, right? It was, it was all broadcast television, or like your Friday nights on ABC, where it was Full House, followed by Urkel, followed by Bosom Buddies or whatever, what was it? What was
the Perfect Strangers.
Perfect Strangers. Balki
Bartokomous. But no, must-see TV. It was. I mean, it went from Cheers,
right,
to Frasier,
right,
to Seinfeld.
Well, and even in the previous
Friends.
years, even in the prior years, must-see TV started off as the Cosby Show into a different world, right? Like it went into the spin-off. I did not know that. Yeah, it started off as like the Cosby Show, and then when the kids got old enough to go to college, it went to a different world, and some of the other shows. Anyways, point being, then we saw the evolution of the cable networks kind of doing their thing, right? The Sopranos premiered 20 years ago, 20 plus years ago.
Wow.
And now the streaming networks are really doing their thing, and you're just seeing all of these award nominations going out for streaming channels. So I think that there's something to be said that the networks are going to need to either put up or get out the way if they want to stay in contention, because I think Netflix and Hulu and HBO are going to run the table this year. And that's all I have to say about that.
I can't give you the news yet. I mean, I give it to you off-site in exchange for your password to watch Ted Lasso. No, I would never even ask you for that. And I know you wouldn't give it to me. I wouldn't even ask, because I know. I do have some great news that we're going to have some celebrating to do. I'm not celebrating, but you're going to have to buy a plane ticket. That's right.
To where?
I can't tell you. Well, I mean, I'm going to tell you as soon as we get these other people out of here. I'll tell you.
All right.
But this is going to be something that everybody's invited to. It's a very exciting event. We're putting a very big event together for the main grand opening launch, Hello World of 3-day weekend.
Love it. Yes, Claudia, that is called a tease, which means you're just going to have to come back for more. That's exactly what we do. Justin's learning.
Yes.
It's exactly why we do it.
It is. But at the same time, I am about to end this shit because I want to go watch the Suns win. As a,
Suns in 4?
Well, it can't be now, but it's maybe Suns in 5.
Yeah.
So that's it, man. And I got to get some food in me. I started working at like 7 o'clock this morning, and it's now almost 7. And
I remember my first part-time job.
Yeah. But anyway, so sorry to cut this short, everybody, but we really wanted to get on the show today and kind of get that routine going again. You know how you like when you go back to the gym and like the first time you're like stoked, and then the next day you're like, I don't want to go back. You have to force yourself, and then you feel better.
What's a gym?
Let's see if there's anyone worth rating.
Raid.
See what we got here. Mellow, fly, scam artist.
Mellow. Son of Mellow.
Should we raid scam?
I mean, kind of already did.
Be amazing. We're not raiding anybody. I don't want to raid anyone.
Hey, guys, have a great week. Have a great week. Thanks for checking out the Old Guy in the Club podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't done so. Every Wednesday, 6 p.m. or most Wednesdays, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 o'clock Eastern. Neil Jackson says he will be joining us again next week. Thanks again for being the best.
Don't let that stop you from coming back.
I know. Yeah.
All right, people. Thank you.
Have a good one. Suns in 7.
Okay. I'll take it.
I don't know.
Later.
Bye.